As Wes Anderson once said, symmetry, movement, and space all are part of the composition. Blocking turns geometry into emotion. In our last episode, we unlocked the secrets of film blocking to help you elevate your storytelling. This time, we're turning up the intensity, swooping into how lighting and blocking work together to craft unforgettable cinematic moments, with examples from some of the most iconic films. If you're ready to transform your scenes and captivate your audience, let's light that scene. First, lighting helps direct the audience's attention to key actions or characters. By placing the brightest or most well-lit areas around the subject, filmmakers guide our eyes to what's most important in the frame. In 1917, the burning village scene is a brilliant example of how lighting directs attention. As Schofield runs through the chaos, the glowing firelight and overhead flares cut through the darkness, creating stark contrasts. These dynamic lighting elements guide our eyes to his frantic movements, ensuring we stay focused on his journey amidst the destruction. The interplay of light and shadow not only emphasizes the action, but also heightens the tension, making every moment unforgettable. Next, lighting is key to creating depth in a scene. It separates the foreground, middle ground, and background, clarifying the spatial relationships between characters and their environment. A powerful example of lighting creating depth and separation is the restroom dance scene in Joker 2019. In this scene, Arthur dances in the restroom after killing the three men on the train. This moment is pivotal, marking the beginning of Arthur's transformation into the Joker, and the lighting subtly reinforces this shift. The dim, overhead lighting casts harsh shadows across the restroom, making the space claustrophobic and unsettling. The flickering fluorescent lights create an eerie, unpredictable atmosphere, mirroring Arthur's unraveling psyche. The light separates Arthur from the grimy background, highlighting his movements as he performs an impromptu dance, almost as if he's stepping into his new identity. The interplay of light and shadow on Arthur's face adds layers to the scene. As he spins and moves, his face alternates between being illuminated and obscured, reflecting his internal struggle, a man torn between his old self and the Joker he's becoming. The dim, greenish hue of the fluorescent lighting further amplifies the grittiness of the setting, reminding the audience of the oppressive environment that shaped him. The shadows in the corners of the restroom deepen the sense of isolation, visually separating him from the rest of the world. This scene is a masterclass in using lighting and blocking together. The light focuses on Arthur's erratic yet graceful movements, framing him as both vulnerable and menacing. It's a haunting moment that perfectly captures the beginning of his descent into chaos, with every shadow and beam of light contributing to the emotional depth of the scene. Lighting also reflects character dynamics. A brightly lit character might seem dominant, while one in shadow can feel mysterious or vulnerable. This adds layers to blocking choices. In The Godfather, the opening scene uses shadows to brilliantly reflect character dynamics. Don Vito Corleone is seated in darkness, with only parts of his face illuminated, emphasizing his power, mystery, and control. The blocking reinforces this visual storytelling by positioning other characters in his shadow, both literally and figuratively. This lighting choice creates a visual hierarchy where the Don appears dominant and imposing, while those seeking his favor seem submissive and small. The interplay of light and shadow highlights the unspoken tension and power imbalance in the room, subtly showcasing the Don's authority over everyone present. By using shadows to enhance character dynamics, the scene sets the tone for the entire film, blending blocking and lighting to communicate power and respect without a single wasted word. Lighting can also guide movement within a scene. Bright areas invite characters to step into them, while shadows or dimly lit zones create boundaries or obstacles. In Skyfall, the Shanghai skyscraper fight scene is a masterclass in using lighting to define movement. The sequence unfolds against a mesmerizing neon-lit backdrop, with vibrant colors shifting and reflecting off the building's glass surfaces. These glowing lights not only create a stunning visual aesthetic, but also guide the viewer's focus as Bond and his opponent move through the space. The characters' silhouettes are sharply defined, creating a striking contrast with the colorful environment. Bright bursts of light illuminate critical moments of the fight, such as punches and sudden movements, drawing attention to key actions. Meanwhile, darker sections of the scene obscure parts of the struggle, building tension and forcing the audience to anticipate the next move. The interplay of light and shadow enhances the choreography, making the space feel alive and amplifying the stakes of the confrontation. This sequence perfectly demonstrates how lighting can shape the flow of movement and elevate the intensity of a scene. Another excellent example of lighting defining movement is the Burning Village scene in 1917. During the Burning Village scene at night, the firelight and flares overhead illuminate Schofield's route, cutting through the darkness and emphasizing the chaos around him. The shifting shadows cast by ruins and debris create visual obstacles, forcing him to adapt to his surroundings while driving the tension forward. These dynamic lighting choices not only guide movement, but also reflect the physical and emotional challenges he faces in his desperate mission. Light and blocking often combine to symbolize themes or emotions. A character stepping into the light might represent revelation or growth, while stepping into shadow might hint at danger or moral conflict. In The Revenant, the scene where Hugh Glass crawls out of his shallow grave masterfully uses lighting to symbolize themes of survival and resilience. The harsh, cold lighting of the snowy wilderness emphasizes his isolation and vulnerability. As Glass moves between light and shadow, the interplay mirrors his internal and external struggles. The bright light reflects the unforgiving brutality of the world around him, while the shadows convey lurking danger and uncertainty. This combination of lighting and blocking reinforces his fight to survive against impossible odds, making every movement feel monumental. In The Shawshank Redemption, the iconic escape scene where Andy emerges from the sewer pipe into the rain is a perfect example of light, symbolizing revelation and freedom. After crawling through darkness, Andy steps into the light under the open sky, arms outstretched. The bright, cleansing rain illuminates him, symbolizing his liberation and redemption. The blocking, with Andy framed at the center of the shot, reinforces his transformation as the light and water wash away his past struggles. This powerful interplay of light and blocking transforms the moment into a triumphant visual metaphor for hope and perseverance. Finally, lighting helps frame the scene. Shadows, highlights, and beams of light can create natural borders around characters, emphasizing their importance or isolating them within the frame. In The Greatest Showman, the opening sequence masterfully uses lighting to frame P.T. Barnum's journey. The spotlight follows him, isolating him from the darkened crowd and highlighting his commanding presence as the ringleader. The contrast between the illuminated ring and the surrounding shadow creates a theatrical, dreamlike atmosphere, reflecting the world of spectacle he's introducing. As the sequence builds, the lighting shifts to highlight the performers entering the scene. Each beam and shadow draws the viewer's eye toward the action, reinforcing the sense of grandeur and showmanship. At the end of the performance, the crowd and performers vanish, and the other lights fade, leaving only a single spotlight on Barnum. This powerful visual moment symbolizes the loneliness beneath the glamour and the fleeting nature of success. The single spotlight creates an intimate and introspective frame, visually communicating Barnum's isolation, even amidst the grandeur of his dreams. Additionally, this moment serves as a poignant metaphor for how everything Barnum labors for could vanish in the blink of an eye. The fading lights and empty stage mirror the fragility of his aspirations, foreshadowing the personal and professional challenges he will face. Lighting, in this instance, not only enhances the visual storytelling, but also deepens the scene's emotional resonance. This sequence not only sets the tone for the film, but also uses lighting to foreshadow Barnum's emotional arc. The House of Blue Leaves scene in Kill Bill Vol. 1 is a masterclass in how lighting can frame a scene. As the bride faces O-Ren Ishii and the Crazy 88, the lighting transforms the space into a visual playground, heightening the drama and intensity. Stark overhead lights create sharp contrasts, isolating the bride in the chaos, while casting deep shadows that emphasize the peril around her. As the fight progresses, the lighting shifts dramatically to match the emotional beats. The lighting changes to silhouettes during one segment, reducing the characters to dark forms against a glowing blue backdrop. This highlights the fluidity of the action and creates a striking visual separation, reinforcing the bride's lone struggle against overwhelming odds. One striking moment is when the lighting abruptly shifts to black and white. The high contrast lighting creates sharp shadows, amplifying the chaos and brutality while giving the sequence a timeless, almost surreal quality. Although the shift to black and white was achieved in post-production, not through on-set lighting. However, the use of high contrast lighting during filming ensured that the black and white effect would be striking and visually dynamic when applied later in post-production. Quentin Tarantino made this stylistic choice both as a tribute to classic samurai and noir films and as a way to separate this segment from the rest of the scene visually. When the color returns, the vivid reds and blues feel even more heightened, pulling the audience back into the vibrant, chaotic world of the bride's vengeance. During the final duel with Oren Ishii in the Tranquil Garden, the lighting softens, using natural tones to frame the moment as intimate and personal. This shift contrasts with the earlier harshness, focusing on the emotional weight of the confrontation. Every light and shadow in this sequence frames the story and characters with precision. And that wraps up our journey into the magic of lighting and blocking. Remember, every beam of light and every movement on screen has the power to elevate your storytelling and captivate your audience. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with fellow filmmakers, and don't forget to subscribe to Breadfruit Studios for more cinematic insights. Let us know in the comments which lighting or blocking technique you're excited to try in your next project, or share your favorite film examples. Until next time, keep experimenting, keep creating, and remember, every frame is a story waiting to be told. See you in the next episode.
Thank you. Thank you so much.